Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll.
Actor and comedian Robin Williams passed away on August 11th, 2014. His sudden death has had a profound impact on people throughout the world. His career, humor, and entire body of work has meant so much to so many people, including those of us here at Just Seen It. Because of this, we wanted to take a moment to talk about how his work has personally affected and impacted us throughout his career.
The first time I saw Robin Williams was actually on an episode of Happy Days, where he played an alien from Ork called Mork. And even as a young man, I knew, oh, this is the network getting ready to spin off a series. And sure enough, next season there was Robin Williams on Mork and Mindy, and I was just hooked on him.
No.
It's funny because as a kid, I was only allowed to watch TV Monday through Thursday on school nights only one day. But my mom always made an exception for Mork and Mindy because she loved it so much.
I've been a huge fan of Robin Williams ever since I was a child. He, for all intents and purposes, was my childhood because of his amazing movies. Aladdin, Hook. Those two movies really cemented themselves inside my heart because of his funny antics, the jokes, and just the whimsical nature of these films.
Some of my earliest childhood memories involve Robin Williams, going back as far as Aladdin, which was probably one of the first movies that I actually remember watching. It was one of my favorite movies as a child. It's still one of my favorite movies today, not only because it's, you know, part of my childhood, but because it's just an example of the incredible energy and charisma that Robin Williams has and how he can transform anything to tailor him and his sensibilities.
When I think about Robin Williams as a comedian, I actually don't think about a movie. I think about his appearance on Inside the Actors Studio, where they really talk about going into what makes someone funny. And is it genetics or is it your background? And him as a performer on that show, you really see his fearlessness in being able to just do anything.
For my first question. This is for $5.
His work doing stand-up for HBO and everything else was just amazing. If you watch him, especially in the 1982 series for HBO, he just lets loose. You could see 4 years of being cooped up on Mork and Mindy just got to be released.
The movie that really resonates with me now as an adult, which I also loved as a child, was Mrs. Doubtfire. That movie is essentially Robin Williams playing himself, especially the scene where he's talking to Mrs. Sellner, the court-appointed liaison, who's helping him trying to find a job, and he launches into a barrage of impressions.
I do a great impression of a hot dog.
Mr. Hillard, do you consider yourself humorous?
I used to.
My favorite scene in Mrs. Doubtfire are where they're trying the different looks on Robin Williams, and of course they try Barbra Streisand, and he just nails this impression of Barbra Streisand.
Don't tell me not to live, just sit and putter. Life's candy and the sun's a ball of butter. Don't bring around a cloud to rain on my parade.
One of his most surprising roles, I thought, was Bicentennial Man, and it was not a movie that I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be his usual goofy antics as a robot, but he brings his trademark earnestness to it. But it really worked in this film because there's a compassion that is needed when he's trying to delve into all these different topics. And you'd think that for somebody who had that kind of heightened energy, this wouldn't be the type of role he should do, but he really embodied this character perfectly.
Robin has had a lot of dramatic roles that have been appreciated over the years, and I think for me, that's what really sticks with me, because I do feel like that there's something extra working behind all of his nuttiness and craziness. Partly because we know him as this clown, and so when he gets into a really dramatic, sorrowful role, for me, again, that becomes that much more interesting, because that craziness then gets kind of compressed into this complexity that's almost kind of impenetrable, and you lean in because you want more from this guy.
He excelled at both drama and comedy, and the perfect example of this is Good Will Hunting. There's so many scenes where it's that very cloudy area where he's talking about missing a baseball game, and he dances over that line of comedy and drama very well. And I think, of course, a lot of that has to do with his own personal tragedy.
I think people should, not just look at Robin Williams, the comedian, they should look at Robin Williams, the actor, and see the talent there as well.
No matter what he does, he takes the most bombastic character and he tries to make it human. And I think that's what's so exciting about him as a performer.
He was so unique that there was no one like him ever in comedy beforehand, and that there may not be anyone like him ever again.
I'm gonna miss this man, not necessarily just for his jokes and amazing energy, but because of the fact that he was able to make me forget about my own problems for however long that I was watching him on screen.
Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky. And when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day, make a wish. Think of me. And make your life spectacular. I know I did.